Punctuation and persuasion. In the chaotic whirlwind of the 2024 U.S. presidential election, every word mattered. But it wasn't just the words themselves, it was how they were punctuated. Periods, commas, exclamation points. These marks turned simple statements into rallying cries, hesitations, or moments of suspense. Donald Trump understood this. His mastery over punctuation wasn't an accident, it was a deliberate tool of persuasion. On social media, in speeches, and through written statements, his use of punctuation created a sense of urgency, emotion, and clarity that resonated deeply with his supporters. Take, for example, his tweets. A tweet like "America is back, stronger than ever" carries a very different tone from "America is back, stronger than ever." The exclamation mark adds energy and passion, while the dash introduces a pause, emphasizing strength with a moment of reflection. Trump's ability to wield punctuation effectively allowed him to connect with voters on a visceral level. The power of exclamation marks. Exclamation marks are often dismissed as informal, but in Trump's campaign, they became a signature. His tweets were peppered with exclamation points, turning simple statements into calls to action. For example, with an exclamation mark, "We will win this election." Without an exclamation mark, "We will win this election." The first version feels more confident, more energetic, it commands attention and inspires belief. The second, while factual, lacks the same punch. Trump's campaign capitalized on this distinction, using exclamation points to amplify their message. At rallies, his speeches followed a similar pattern. He didn't just say, "We will create jobs." Instead, he declared, "We will create jobs. Jobs like you've never seen before." The punctuation, both spoken and written, transformed his words into promises, driving home his vision for the future. The subtle strategists, while exclamation marks grabbed attention, commas played a quieter but equally important role in Trump's messaging. Commas, often described as the breath marks of language, allowed him to pace his statements, making them easier to follow and more impactful. Consider this example: without commas, "We are going to rebuild our economy stronger than ever before with jobs for everyone." With commas, "We are going to rebuild our economy stronger than ever before with jobs for everyone." In the second version, commas create rhythm. They guide the reader, emphasizing key points without overwhelming them. Trump's speeches and written statements often used commas to break down complex ideas, making them more digestible for his audience. Commas also allowed him to introduce pauses for dramatic effect. At a rally, he might say, "Together, we will fight for America, we will stand for freedom, and we will win." Each comma created a moment for the audience to absorb his words, building anticipation for what came next. The strategic use of periods. Periods are the full stops of language. They bring finality, clarity, and authority to a statement. Trump's use of short, punchy sentences, often punctuated by periods, became a hallmark of his communication style. For example, without periods, "We are going to fix the economy and create jobs and secure the borders." With periods, "We are going to fix the economy, create jobs, secure the borders." The second version feels stronger. Each period turns a part of the sentence into a standalone declaration. It's as if each idea is a promise etched in stone. Trump's speeches and tweets frequently used this technique to convey strength and decisiveness. Periods also played a role in his rebuttals and critiques. Instead of lengthy explanations, he often responded with short, pointed statements like "fake news" or "wrong." These brief sentences, punctuated by periods, carried a sense of finality that resonated with his supporters. Creating suspense, dashes and ellipses are often used to create pauses, suspense, or shifts in tone. Trump's campaign leveraged these punctuation marks to great effect, keeping his audience engaged and emphasizing key points. For example, with a dash, "We're bringing jobs back to America, jobs that should have never left." With ellipses, "The future is bright. Brighter than anyone imagined." The dash adds drama, while the ellipsis introduces a sense of mystery or anticipation. Both techniques draw the audience in, making them eager to hear what comes next. During debates and interviews, Trump often used ellipses to trail off, leaving his opponents or critics to fill in the blanks. This strategy forced others to react, giving him the upper hand. Similarly, dashes allowed him to pivot quickly, connecting ideas in a way that felt dynamic and conversational, inviting engagement. Question marks, though less frequent in Trump's messaging, played a critical role in engaging his audience. By posing rhetorical questions, he invited voters to reflect on their own beliefs and experiences. For example, "Who's going to fight for your jobs? Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago?" These questions weren't just rhetorical, they were strategic. They forced voters to consider their answers, aligning their thoughts with Trump's narrative. The question mark added an element of directness, making the conversation feel personal and immediate. The opposition's punctuation choices. While Trump's campaign thrived on active punctuation, his opponents often leaned on more neutral or reflective styles. Democratic speeches and statements frequently used longer, more complex sentences with fewer punctuation marks for emphasis. For instance, "We must consider the long-term implications of these policies, weighing the benefits and risks carefully." While thoughtful, such sentences lacked the punch of Trump's short, active statements. The absence of strong punctuation made the messaging feel less urgent, less decisive. This contrast wasn't lost on voters. Trump's bold punctuation choices created a sense of momentum, while the opposition's subtler approach often came across as hesitant or overly cautious. A punctuation-driven drama. As election results rolled in, punctuation again took center stage. News outlets reported Trump's victory with headlines like, "Trump wins. America votes for change." The exclamation marks added excitement, capturing the drama of the moment. Social media erupted with similar energy. "We did it. Trump is back." Meanwhile, statements from the opposition were more subdued. "The results are in, and a new chapter begins." The difference in punctuation mirrored the emotions of each side. For Trump's supporters, the night was a celebration. For his opponents, it was a moment of reflection, lessons in language. In the weeks following the election, Trump's administration continued to use punctuation strategically. Official statements were filled with exclamation points and short, declarative sentences. "We are building America's future. Join us." Meanwhile, the opposition issued longer, more introspective statements. "As we move forward, we must address the challenges ahead with care and determination." The contrast highlighted the power of punctuation in shaping narratives. Trump's bold, active approach created a sense of action and ownership, while the opposition's reflective style conveyed caution and thoughtfulness.